The world often underestimates the quiet power that resides within a chosen individual. This is someone marked not by circumstance but by destiny itself, a presence that carries weight far beyond what ordinary eyes can see. Their path is one of precision, discipline, and unwavering purpose. Every choice, every movement, every utterance is observed and measured, not only by those around them, but by forces unseen. The true measure of their strength lies not in how loudly they proclaim their abilities, but in their ability to remain controlled even when provoked. Speaking without thought or out of impulse is not merely reckless, it can awaken dangers that are beyond comprehension, dangers that strike swiftly and without mercy. The chosen one must understand that restraint is a form of mastery, that silence is a shield as well as a weapon. To wield their voice carelessly is to invite catastrophe, and the stakes of their existence demand nothing less than total vigilance. Being chosen is not a gift that comes without its trials. It is a responsibility heavier than most can bear, a burden that tests patience, discernment, and self-control at every turn. The world may mistake hesitation for weakness or quiet for submission, but the chosen understands the power in silence. They move through life with awareness of the consequences that can follow a single word spoken too soon. Every interaction, every gesture is deliberate, guided by the knowledge that they are part of a larger design. Their strength is measured not by the noise they create, but by their ability to remain composed when the world demands reaction. There is a gravity to their existence, an intensity that draws attention even in stillness. The chosen must always be mindful that their power is not to be flaunted, and that mastery of oneself is the foundation for mastery of all else. To live as the chosen is to live under constant scrutiny, to be perpetually tested, and to bear the weight of expectations both seen and unseen. Silence becomes a strategy, a way to navigate challenges that cannot be approached with brashness or haste. It is a tool that preserves strength and prevents unnecessary conflict. The chosen learns that their words have consequences far beyond their intent, capable of shaping destiny or destroying it. Each moment demands awareness. Each decision requires calculation. The path is not one of convenience, and every step must be taken with the understanding that they are accountable to forces that are absolute and unforgiving. Mastery comes from patience, from understanding the gravity of one's own potential, and from recognizing that true influence is exercised through careful, deliberate action. The chosen must embrace their silence as a mark of their power. To remain quiet when the world demands speech is not weakness, but authority. It signals comprehension of the seriousness of their path and respect for the unseen forces guiding them. Words once spoken cannot be retracted, and the chosen walks a line where one misstep can have irreversible consequences. By controlling their voice, by measuring the impact of their every statement, they protect not only themselves but the destiny entrusted to them. The true power of the chosen lies in the understanding that restraint is strength, and that survival, influence, and eventual triumph are secured through discipline, patience, and the strategic use of their voice. Silence in this life is deadly serious. The chosen one is never ordinary. Their presence carries an energy that draws attention even when they remain silent. People may not always understand it, yet it is unmistakable. There is a weight to their being, a subtle authority that commands respect without a word. Every action they take sends ripples beyond immediate perception, influencing events and shaping outcomes in ways the unobservant cannot see. This power, however, is not without responsibility. The chosen must constantly measure their impact, knowing that their choices are never isolated. Even the smallest gesture, the slightest comment, can alter the course of events. Silence, therefore, is not merely an absence of speech. It is a calculated strategy, a means of controlling the flow of influence without revealing the full extent of their capabilities. The world often confuses quiet confidence with hesitation, yet the chosen knows that restraint is a sign of mastery, not indecision. They are aware that speaking recklessly or asserting themselves unnecessarily invites disruption and danger, and they understand that timing is as vital as action itself. Being chosen entails a life under constant scrutiny, both visible and unseen. Others may expect immediate response, reaction, or explanation, but the chosen knows the value of observation before engagement. They recognize that words carry power, and with power comes accountability. To speak impulsively is to surrender control, to risk unleashing forces that cannot be contained. Therefore, silence is cultivated, practiced, and wielded as a tool. It becomes a means of navigating challenges that require careful judgment, patience, and foresight. The chosen understands that influence is not measured by volume, but by precision. Their actions and statements are instruments meant to align with purpose and timing, not with temporary impulse. Each moment presents a test of their discipline. Will they react immediately, or will they wait, observing the environment, reading the currents of circumstance, and responding only when the moment is exact and necessary? This understanding separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the casual from the chosen. Power, when untempered, is dangerous not only to others, but to the one who possesses it. The chosen one has the awareness that authority without control can destroy everything it touches. Therefore, restraint becomes an essential form of self-preservation. By controlling what they say and when they say it, they protect the integrity of their journey and maintain alignment with the purpose that defines them. This discipline is not visible to most, but it is the foundation of all their influence. Every calculated silence, every deliberate pause strengthens their position, reinforcing the invisible boundaries that safeguard both them and the destiny they carry. The chosen walks a line where restraint is a weapon, patience is armor, and silence is a signal that they are aware of forces far beyond ordinary comprehension. In mastering their voice, they master their fate, demonstrating that true authority lies in the power to remain measured and deliberate in a world that demands immediate reaction. Destiny is not a suggestion, and the chosen one is never free to negotiate with the path set before them. Every choice, every movement, and every decision is measured against a standard that few can comprehend. The chosen exists in a realm where their actions have consequences far beyond what ordinary understanding allows. When they are instructed to remain silent, it is not a request but a command of absolute seriousness. It is a protective measure designed to prevent events that are irreversible and catastrophic. Silence in this context is not an absence but an active engagement with destiny. Each moment of quiet allows the chosen to observe, calculate, and respond with precision. Impulsive speech can disrupt the delicate balance of forces at play, inviting chaos where order must prevail. Timing is the currency of the chosen, and every utterance carries weight. They must understand that patience is a form of power, and that their restraint is what ensures survival and the fulfillment of their ultimate purpose. The chosen one is acutely aware of the invisible forces that influence their life. They know that speaking prematurely can trigger chains of events that cannot be reversed, that even a single word spoken at the wrong moment can unravel carefully laid plans. To navigate these challenges, the chosen must cultivate a deep awareness of both self and circumstance. Silence becomes a deliberate strategy, a way of maintaining control when the pressures of the world demand immediate reaction. The discipline to remain quiet is a reflection of intelligence, understanding, and respect for the complexity of the path they walk. In a world that values noise and assertion, the chosen demonstrates strength through restraint, proving that true authority is measured by the ability to act only when the moment requires it. Their quiet is not weakness, but a signal that they are fully attuned to the demands of their role and the magnitude of the forces they are aligned with. Power, untempered by self-control, is a danger both to others and to the one who wields it. The chosen knows this, and thus every action is weighed, every word measured, and every gesture considered. Silence is both a shield and a tool, preserving the integrity of the chosen's journey while maintaining alignment with the purpose for which they were marked. The world may misinterpret their quiet as indecision, but the chosen knows that restraint is mastery. To speak without preparation is to invite error, and the consequences of error are never forgiving in their sphere. Mastery comes from understanding the gravity of each moment, the ripple effects of every decision, and the responsibility inherent in being chosen. Each pause, each deliberate act of observation strengthens their position, ensuring that when they do act, their influence is absolute, precise, and aligned with the path of destiny. The chosen walks a line that is not visible to most, but is unmistakable to those who understand power. Every decision is a test, every word a potential spark. The ability to remain silent when others demand speech is the hallmark of the truly chosen. In this silence they find clarity, control, and the capacity to shape events with precision. The moment they act or speak is never random. It is calculated, purposeful, and aligned with the trajectory that defines them. Restraint is their weapon, patience their armor, and awareness their guide. By mastering these, the chosen ensures not only survival, but the fulfillment of the path they are destined to follow. Every quiet moment, every measured action reinforces the seriousness of their calling and the deadly importance of discipline in a world that respects neither weakness nor hesitation. Power without control is dangerous, both to those around it and to the one who possesses it. The chosen one understands that true authority is not proven through loud declarations, public displays, or impulsive action. It is measured by the ability to govern oneself, to temper strength with discipline, and to act only when the moment requires precision. Impatience, pride, or carelessness can have devastating consequences, and the chosen recognizes that the stakes of their existence demand absolute vigilance. Silence is not passivity. It is a strategic tool that allows them to assess, calculate, and act with intent. Each word spoken recklessly can trigger events that cannot be undone, and every gesture carries the potential to alter the course of fate. Mastery of self is the foundation of mastery over circumstance, and restraint is the instrument by which influence is maintained without chaos. In understanding this, the chosen cultivates a presence that commands attention even in stillness, a power rooted not in noise, but in deliberate, measured action. The chosen walks a path where restraint is the most important form of strength. It is a discipline that is rarely recognized by others, yet it defines their ability to succeed. Every decision, every statement is weighed against consequences that may extend far beyond immediate perception. The world often misunderstands silence as hesitation or weakness. Yet the chosen knows it is the ultimate display of control. Words have consequences, some visible and others hidden. And the ability to refrain from speaking until necessary preserves the integrity of the chosen's journey. Impulsive speech or an attempt to assert dominance without thought can undo progress, trigger conflict, or invite danger. The chosen one learns that the timing and intention behind every word are as crucial as the power behind them. Silence becomes both a shield and a weapon, allowing them to navigate challenges with clarity, precision, and an understanding of the larger forces at play. The responsibility of power is heavy, and the chosen understands that their influence must be exercised with care. Authority without self-control is destructive, and the consequences of misused power are often irreversible. To act without consideration, to speak without discipline, is to risk the very destiny they were meant to fulfill. Every pause, every measured response strengthens their position and ensures that when action is required, it is executed with maximum effectiveness. The chosen recognizes that true influence is not demonstrated through volume or visibility, but through the ability to remain composed when circumstances demand restraint. In mastering silence, they master themselves, and in mastering themselves, they secure the path that has been entrusted to them. The chosen one's silence is deliberate, purposeful, and commanding. It communicates awareness, control, and understanding without words. By restraining speech, they navigate the complexities of power, preserving stability while influencing outcomes in ways others cannot perceive. Their authority is strengthened through patience, and their actions gain weight because they are always intentional. The world may demand noise and reaction, but the chosen knows that the most profound power lies in measured restraint. Silence is the instrument through which mastery is displayed, control is exercised, and destiny is protected. Each moment of quiet reinforces the seriousness of their path and underscores the deadly importance of discipline in a life of influence and purpose. There are forces at play in the world that are unseen yet inevitable, influencing the lives of the chosen in ways that cannot be ignored. The chosen one encounters these forces constantly, testing not only their strength but also their judgment, patience, and discernment. To act impulsively, to speak without thought, is to challenge these forces, inviting consequences that can be swift, merciless, and irreversible. Silence, in this context, is a powerful tool, a method of alignment with the currents of circumstance, rather than an indication of weakness. Each moment of quiet allows the chosen to observe the environment, to understand the stakes, and to respond in a way that preserves the integrity of their path. They are acutely aware that every word carries weight, that even a seemingly small expression can ripple outward, altering events far beyond their immediate perception. Through restraint, the chosen maintains control, protecting not only themselves but the larger trajectory of destiny that surrounds them. In mastering silence, they master the forces that would otherwise test them without mercy. The chosen one is tested not only by circumstance, but by the expectations of others. The world often demands immediate responses, explanations, and action, yet the chosen knows the value of restraint. Speaking prematurely or reacting impulsively risks triggering chaos, undermining carefully calculated plans, and misaligning the delicate balance of events. Silence becomes strategy, patience becomes strength, and observation becomes a tool of influence. The chosen recognizes that their path is not governed by convenience or impulse, but by the careful alignment of action with necessity. Every interaction, every decision, is measured against a standard invisible to ordinary perception. The discipline to remain quiet, to act only when the moment is precise, is what distinguishes the chosen from the ordinary, setting them apart as someone whose presence alone carries authority and consequence. Power in the hands of the chosen is dangerous if untempered by control. They know that influence is not expressed through haste or loud declaration, but through deliberate and calculated restraint. Each choice must be aligned with purpose, each statement must be measured for impact, and every action must serve the trajectory of their destiny. Misused words or impulsive deeds can ignite consequences beyond recovery, demonstrating why the command to remain silent is not a suggestion, but an absolute requirement. Silence is the instrument through which they preserve order, navigate challenges, and maintain alignment with the forces shaping their journey. The chosen understands that the world is not forgiving of recklessness, and that mastery comes from the ability to exercise discipline even when circumstances tempt them toward immediate reaction. In embracing this discipline, the chosen develops clarity, control, and a capacity for precision that ordinary individuals rarely achieve. Each moment of observation strengthens their position, each deliberate pause enhances their influence, and each calculated action aligns them with the trajectory for which they were marked. Silence is their ally, restraint their armor, and awareness their guide. By mastering these, the chosen navigates unseen forces with authority, protecting both themselves and the greater purpose that has been entrusted to them. In this life, the ability to remain quiet, to act with deliberation, and to respect the unseen is not optional. It is essential, and it underscores the deadly seriousness of their path. Responsibility is the heaviest burden carried by the chosen. Every thought, every word, and every decision has consequences that extend far beyond what ordinary understanding allows. The chosen one is aware that they are not like others. Their life is not guided by comfort, convenience, or the approval of those around them. It is shaped by purpose, by forces that demand discipline, and by the knowledge that even a single misstep can alter the course of events irreversibly. Silence is not a suggestion, but a necessity. It is a way to maintain control over the power entrusted to them, to prevent the unleashing of consequences that could be catastrophic. The chosen understands that the world measures their every action, and that to speak recklessly is to risk not only their own trajectory, but the outcomes of those who depend on their judgment. Restraint, therefore, is a form of strength, a visible expression of mastery over self and circumstance, and the foundation upon which their authority rests. The chosen walks a path where every moment requires awareness and vigilance. Words spoken without consideration can trigger chains of events that cannot be reversed, while deliberate silence preserves alignment with purpose. The discipline to remain quiet when others demand speech is a sign of mastery, a demonstration that they understand the weight of their own influence. Patience becomes a weapon, and observation a tool of power. Every interaction, every decision must be weighed against the larger trajectory of events, and the chosen knows that a single ill-considered comment can undermine years of careful planning. Their authority is not based on force or volume, but on precision, judgment, and the ability to exercise control even under pressure. By mastering restraint, the chosen ensures that their actions are purposeful, their influence sustained, and their journey protected from the dangers of impulsivity. Power and responsibility are inseparable in the life of the chosen. To wield authority without discipline is to invite destruction, both upon oneself and upon the path one is meant to follow. The chosen knows that their voice is not merely a tool for communication, but a force with tangible consequences. Speaking without thought can trigger conflicts, misunderstandings, or irreversible change, while silence allows for assessment, strategy, and deliberate action. The ability to act with precision, to speak only when necessary, and to maintain alignment with destiny is what separates the ordinary from the chosen. Every pause, every calculated observation, and every deliberate restraint reinforces their capacity to influence without chaos, ensuring that the power they possess serves its intended purpose rather than becoming a source of destruction. Mastery of responsibility requires discipline, patience, and the understanding that every action carries weight. The chosen's life is a constant test of awareness, judgment, and self-control. Silence is not submission, but a demonstration of power, a recognition that restraint protects both the individual and the larger purpose for which they were chosen. Every measured act, every deliberate pause strengthens their position and safeguards their path. By embracing the gravity of their role and respecting the seriousness of their influence, the chosen ensures that their journey is not only preserved, but aligned with the trajectory of destiny. Discipline is deadly serious, and mastery lies in knowing when to speak, when to act, and when to remain still. The world often misunderstands the chosen. Many expect immediate action, constant communication, and visible demonstrations of authority. Yet the chosen knows that true influence is not measured by noise or activity, but by the strategic timing of words and actions. They recognize that speaking too soon, acting impulsively, or seeking approval can unravel the carefully constructed path of destiny that surrounds them. Silence becomes a deliberate and powerful tool, a language in itself that conveys control, awareness, and authority without the need for display. The chosen understands that the world rewards patience and punishes recklessness, and that each moment of restraint strengthens their position and aligns them more closely with the purpose for which they were marked. Their quiet presence commands attention not through volume, but through the weight of intentionality and precision. Every word spoken by the chosen carries far-reaching consequences, many of which are invisible to ordinary perception. They are acutely aware that a single careless statement can trigger events that cannot be undone, affecting not only their own trajectory but the lives of others connected to their paths. This awareness instills a discipline that is uncommon in ordinary life. Silence is cultivated, practiced, and wielded as a protective instrument. Each pause becomes an opportunity to assess, evaluate, and prepare for the moment when speech or action is truly required. The chosen does not succumb to the pressure of expectation, understanding that the demand for immediate response often comes from those who cannot perceive the complexity of the forces at play. Through measured restraint, they preserve clarity, maintain alignment with destiny, and ensure that when they do act or speak, the impact is precise, powerful, and purposeful. Patience is more than a virtue for the chosen. It is a weapon and a strategy. The ability to wait, to observe, and to measure the timing of each decision separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. The chosen understands that life is not a stage for impulsive display, but a battlefield that requires calculation, awareness, and anticipation. Every interaction becomes a test of discernment, every silence a reinforcement of control. The world may interpret quiet as hesitation, yet the chosen knows that restraint is the foundation of influence and survival. By mastering the timing of words, the chosen ensures that they remain untouchable by distraction, immune to manipulation, and aligned with the trajectory of purpose that governs their existence. The chosen one's quiet authority becomes a magnetic force, drawing attention, respect, and alignment without demonstration. Their silence communicates mastery, patience, and awareness, signaling to the world that they are fully attuned to the forces guiding them. By choosing when to speak and when to remain still, they maintain control, influence outcomes with precision, and safeguard the integrity of their path. Each deliberate act of restraint reinforces their power, ensures clarity of purpose, and protects the trajectory of their destiny. In a world that misunderstands quiet, the chosen thrives, proving that true authority is measured not by noise, but by the mastery of timing, restraint, and strategic observation. The chosen one must embrace absolute discipline. Their path is not guided by convenience, popularity, or fleeting desire, but by a strict standard that governs every action, thought, and decision. The world often underestimates the weight carried by those who are chosen, assuming that power is evident only through visible display or immediate achievement. Yet true mastery lies in restraint, patience, and awareness. The command to remain silent, to pause, and to consider each word and action is not a suggestion. It is a necessity. Ignoring it invites consequences that are swift, unavoidable, and final. Discipline is the framework upon which their entire influence rests, ensuring that power is exercised with precision and that their purpose remains intact. In mastering themselves, the chosen secures the trajectory of their destiny, protecting both their life and the lives of those connected to the path they walk. Every moment of discipline is a reinforcement of authority. The chosen understands that impulsive speech or reckless action can dismantle progress, unravel carefully laid plans, and invite forces that are beyond ordinary comprehension. Silence is not weakness. It is control. It is strategy. It is alignment with the inevitable. Through deliberate restraint, the chosen assesses situations, evaluates risks, and acts with timing that maximizes impact while minimizing chaos. Their power is not measured by the volume of their voice or the immediacy of their reaction, but by the precision of their actions when they are required. The chosen lives in constant awareness of cause and effect, knowing that each decision resonates beyond the immediate moment and contributes to the larger framework of destiny. Mastery is cultivated in quiet, and discipline becomes the bridge between potential and fulfillment. The responsibility of the chosen is immense, for their actions carry weight that others cannot comprehend. Every choice is an exercise in foresight, every pause a test of self-control, and every word a potential force of creation or destruction. By adhering to discipline, they ensure that their influence is never squandered and that their path remains aligned with the purpose for which they were marked. The world may demand noise, reaction, or spectacle, yet the chosen knows that true power is exercised in alignment with necessity, not desire. Every measured step, every intentional silence fortifies their position and communicates authority without display. The mastery of self, above all else, ensures survival, clarity, and the fulfillment of destiny. The chosen one walks a path where discipline is not optional.